they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy and get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical. Guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to them pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologists. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. They start applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since. All the dominance of one West rising to prominent. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got Groupons for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta, niggas wildin', they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the semi holler. A showstopper, been a stopper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm going on my Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modified the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they heat's on, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had them niggas feel like a tire.
Alright, Shalom Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Gen.YAHANNA. We teach the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, so-called Native Indians that we are the lost 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Today is our Hebrew class, or we call the Lashawan Qadash, which is the holy tongue, right, in the ancient Hebrew. And tonight we're going to continue to learn our history, our culture, and our heritage, right? Those things have been, I should say, sometimes stolen, to put it in a better word, right? Stolen by all these nations on the earth, where they use and bastardize our language, right? And also the so-called Jews, or so-called Jewish man, that imposter, right? They, corrupted, or so-called corrupted that language and made their own so-called Hebrew or Assyrian type language. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is teach, the basics, right? And those basics will help us come back to understanding who we are as a people. One, understand that being as Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, we have a culture, we have a heritage, and we have a language. There's an identity, right? For us Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Not just slaves, not just wetback, not just nigger, not all these bywords that they call us. And the way that they deem us as if we have no kind of history, no kind of culture. Everything that we do and say is of another nation. But here in I.S.U.P.K under commanding Gen.YAHANNA, we'll be able to understand and learn who we are as a people. Alright, so tonight we're just going to go through quickly some of the basics. One, which is the alphabet. Alright, we're just going to run through that quickly. But the main thing we're going to deal with tonight is numbers. Alright, which is very important. Numbers are very important when you go through the scriptures. It was, as with any language, right? Numbers and or maths or mathematical equations and just basic use, counting persons, animals, money. Right? You have to use numbers or the numbering system, and that same numbering system was used throughout different nations, different civilizations. They used most of our methods, and some of them corrupted that. But you see traces of the ancient Hebrew in all these cultures in the way that they do and say and practice their language. Right? Most of it they took from us. And what we're going to do tonight is teach and show who we are. So, we'll get right to it. What we're going to do first, though, is we're going to run through the alphabet. That's the basics. Right? With those basics, it will help the building block when we're doing the numbers. So as we know, Hebrew is written from the right to the left. Most other languages, or especially now English, is from the left to right. Right? So if we go through, we have A, Ba. Right, then we have Ra. Sha and Ta. So this is what we call the ancient Hebrew. What I'm going to write here now is the so-called Assyrian. Well, I'm going to take down that. I'm going to put in the ancient. This is the ancient. I'm going to write in the Assyrian, just so that we get that understanding of what we are writing. So, A. the very second part. Ka. This is Ra, Sha, and put the top across. Just for spacing, put it there. Right, so going back through the Hebrew alphabet, we have the ancient, which is in blue here, and we have the Assyrian in the black. As we're going back through, Officer Shah, the meeting honors, please, Babu Shah, you can run through the alphabet as you run through.
A, Ba, Ga, Da.
Most times how I you know, like how sometimes you have like a sing song or like a rhyme. So you go like A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha. A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa. And you go Wa, Za, Ka, Ta, Ya, Ka, La. I'm going to fix this here so you can look properly. Right, so it's Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Ta, Za, Kwa, Ra, Sha, and Ka. Right, so that is the Hebrew alphabet in a nutshell. Right, then we have the so-called ancient and Assyrian. Right, same pronunciation, but this is the bastardized version of what they would try to come and put. And that's what they use now in mainstream. But this is our ancient language. They found this in the so-called New World that Christopher Columbus then came in. Right, if I'm not mistaken, we have the what we call the Decalogue stone. Right, oh no, and we have the Bat Creek stone. Right, all those were found in the Western Hemisphere with ancient Hebrew writings on it. These characters, not these, but these characters here. Even in Puerto Rico, Captain Catazar did an excellent lecture on that. All right, you can go on ISUPK.com or cross the line, if I'm not mistaken. You'll be able to get that lecture. So subscribe to all our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter accounts, ISUPK.com, and you're able to get all these information, all the history, the backdrop, because there's only scholars here in the I.S.U.P.K, right? We do and research. We do tedious work in getting that information, the correct information, biblically, right? Through history, through archaeology, we get to see that our language and our history is not buried, it's not hidden. It's there. But the powers that be, the so-called white man who is the devil that the Bible speaks of, right, uses institutions like the Smithsonian and many other institutions to hide our history and hide our language. Right? So this is ours. So I'll give you all a few minutes for those online, those on Facebook, just to jot these down. If you're now tuning in for the first time, so that you can be able to get it. Get it locked, as we will say down. And then make sure it's locked. As we know, there are 5 characters, right, in the ancient, when you're going through the Assyrian, there are 5 characters that have slight changes, or the character changes due to the position of the character, right? Those characters are the Ka, the Ma, the Na, the Pa, and the Tzab. Right? Those characters, depending on where they fall, if they fall at the beginning or the middle of the word, this is the one that used in the Assyrian. If they fall at the end of a word, this is the character that they use. This is one is used for the beginning or the middle, one is used to the end of the word that you're writing. So, with that in mind, we have a brief run-through of the alphabet in the both ancient and the Assyrian. So what we're going to move on to now is numbers. Now, numbers is something that is always used or is found throughout the Bible. Whether it be dates, whether it be times, whether it be numbering animals, and in some cases, numbering the people. When you go into battle, when you go into war, you will number the amount of soldiers you have. So these are things that through the scripture you see where numbers are used, and knowing how to pronounce and say these numbers in the ancient language is critical to understanding the magnitude, as well as using it in terms of account of time, the age. Like we say, okay, in Genesis it shows the age of the men that live. So we say, okay, this one lived 300 and some years, this one lived 900 and something years, or he lived up until 105 that he got this person. So all these are things that we have to see and recognize in the scriptures. So we're going to do now is start with the basics. So when most times we go in school, you say primary school, nursery, preschool. We just start obviously with the basics. First thing you start with is the alphabet. The next thing you start with, your numbers. 2 basic things. Almost every single language, no matter where it is. So is no different to our language, our history and our culture. As you can see, it's ancient Hebrew is one of the oldest written known languages. So what we're going to do here now is start with the basics. You have A, B, C, D in so-called English. In ancient Hebrew, you have the Abba, Ga, Da, Ha. Same thing with numbers. You start there from 1 and we go up to 10. Once you reach there, then you go to another section. From 10, you go to either the teens or try to go the powers of 10, 20, 30, 40. From this side, I guided more. 100, 200, 300, then thousands, etc. So what we're going to do now is start off with the basics. So we're going to go with 1, 2, 3. This way I get 4, 5, 6. So we're going to be able to fit 1 to 10. So it'll be easy for us to be able to get that grasp of what it is we're doing. So put this here. So because of space, we'll start from 1 to 6. So the first number 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 in ancient Hebrew is akad. 2 is shanyah. 3 is shalash. 4 is arabai. I think I'll make some adjustments to that. Arabai. Araba. Arabai. 5 is Kamash. Almost doing like you're kind of hooking. Kamash. And 6 is Shasha. So I know how we've seen it on Facebook. I hope you all seen it clear. So we go over it one more time. We have Akkad, which is 1. Shanayah, 2. Shalash, 3. Arabai, 4. Kamash, 5. Shesha, 6. So what we're going to do now is write the Hebrew for it. So that we'll be able to see it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the ancient, try to put in the ancient and the Assyrian. So I'm going to write the ancient, I'll write the ancient on top of the Assyrian first. Oh, I think I will get this one. So I'll put it on this side. So Akkad, from left to right, so I'm sorry, from right to left. This is Akkad. And in the Syrian, I'll write a different color. Just for clarity. So that's Akkad 1. Shanayah is 2. Sha-na-ya. Shana. Shanya. I'm a bit too crowded this, so I'll just put it here. Shanya. Shalash, which is 3. I'm going to write the Hebrew for it. Shalasha, Shalash, Shalash. that's 3. 4. 6. Shasha. Good. So we have the first 6 here. So we have Akkad is 1. This is the ancient. Akkad. And this is the Assyrian. Akkad 1. Shanyah 2. Shalash 3. Arabai 4. Kamash 5. Shashak 6. If you look at it in the so you can get the blue letter.
Okay, so you pronounce it 6?
6.
Shashak.
Shashak. So I'm gonna write it in the ancient as well. So while I put it the same says Shashak. We have the connectors. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have it in both in ancient and in Assyrian. So I'll give you all a few minutes just to jot down those. Let's see if I could follow up our scripture. We should have So you can find
Numbers.
to mean. Now, in the so we're reading from, this is Genesis 1 and 9. Right, which says, and God said, let the waters under heaven be gathered together in one, so like unto one place, and let the dry land appear. Right, so we see here the word, which is akkad, but in the Assyrian, I don't know if you might be able to see it in the, see if I could get it. Right, it's H, right, H259. Now you see how they have bastardized, right? You see they have what we call a E. So there's no vowels. Let's see if we get it straight up here. Right. That has echad. I don't know what the hell is that. I don't know what. But again, in white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And you can see the corruption. So they have it as echad, or whatever they try to put there to substitute. Because what they would usually do is, because they don't understand our language, they input their philosophy, or what they think that would make it easier for them to understand or to express what it is that they're trying to speak, and not just our language. Because it's similar like today. There are masters of stealing, right? The so-called white man, right? So-called Esau is the greatest thief it have, right? The greatest impersonator, and he would do anything, almost anything, to try to make something that is not his, make him seem that he is the originator of that land, of that thing, right? Look, even of recent, this is sidetrack a little bit. There was this Edom, the so-called Edomite, going on social media, right? And there was a particular beat in terms of music. I think they call it reverb and let me see if I can pull it up. But basically what happened, this Israelite, a brother, a pioneer in music, right? He pioneered a particular style of music, right? I think it's reverb and cut, or cut and reverb or something, so where they kind of slow the music, right? A particular way, and they get a kind of, a real different kind of swag in terms of the music. And that was since in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. Lo and behold, you might come now, using the same pattern and calling it a different name, and claiming that, they created this new style. Right? So Mr. Let's pull it back quick. Just go ahead. Sorry, Mr. Shah.
They know auto-tunes you're talking about?
No, not auto-tunes.
Right.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's see. Okay. But I mean, the so-called white man is the slickest, slimiest bastard you could ever get. So get fun and but yeah, they are masters of inputting their self
like I said, that come just like if like they just need that generation just to be gone. And when that generation gone, it's like, you know, they push that now, say like, yeah, when that generation is happening out there, they bring that, so you know, that will continue, but that is a wipe out. You know?
Right. Let's see if I could find. Trying to find that article. Anyways, the whole point is that the so-called white man is a thief, plain and simple, and the other nations is no different. It's just this our so-called oppressor. He is the one who just really good at it. I say he was the most subtle beast of the field. You understand? And he just does it better than most of the nations. Right? He's the one on top. He's the most slimiest, right? Most sleaziest. As we say on a real smart man. He will look as if he's innocent, look like he will cause him no harm, but that is the man that will bust you through. As we just say down here. That is the man go, come on, thief your drawers off of your back or off your behind. Right, so we'll jump back this here. So we have one more time. Let's go into. We have a card, 1, Shanya, 2, Shalash, 3, Arabai, 4, Hamash, 5, Shasha, 6. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these off and we're gonna follow up the rest. So we're going to 10, and then from there we're going to the other half to see how everything just ties in. So we have 7, 8, 9, and 10. In right, so once more, I think I should write it all one time so it'll be easier to understand. So we should buy it is Again, like, share, and subscribe to ISUPK.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all the handles. And again, we're not affiliated with any religious group or organization. Cool. So now we have the rest of 1 to 10. We have 7, which is Shabai. Shabai. And this placement put in the hectares. We have Aishara, so like you have Shabai, which is 7, Shamawana, which is 8, Tashai, which is 9, Tashai, and we have Aishara, which is 10.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K. Go ahead.
No, that one.
Oh yeah. I.S.U.P.K.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the slash with the E. So we have 7, Shabai, ancient and Assyrian. Shamawana, which is 8. Again, Shamanawa. The Nashawamanaha. The Na and the Ha is connected. We drop the A at the end of the Ha. Now we have 9, which is Tashai. Tashai. Ancient Syrian I.S.U.P.K, which is 10. So we're going to go again, keep going to the Blue Letter Bible. And we go to probably the most famous one that we use. Which is English 3. Right, so as we know, we're supposed to give 10% of our tithes. You want? So 10 or 10th. So 10 is pronounced I.S.U.P.K, so in the Philippine blue letter here. Alright, so we go, it should be 10th. 10, I'll go to Leviticus. Oh yeah, 12. Right. So we have usually what we read in the announcements, we have when we say tithes, which is a commandment, right? We find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Leviticus. Malachi 3 from verse 8 to 10. So let's get full of that. So Malachi, as we know, our tithe is supposed to be a 10th of what or whatever our increase is. Right? So Malachi 3 and it says, will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and in offerings. And because that verse 9 says, ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes of tenth into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts. So I'm going to go to that. Right, so we post. So bring in right, so basically, if you go into the blue letter, my I.S.U.P.K, which is 10th, right? Let's get it. Right, so in translation, Ma'asher, which is a wrong, how they spell it. Let's forget that. Right. But they say pronunciation, they say Ma'ashara. Ma'ashara. Which is, I don't know what the hell they're trying to pronounce there, but it's Aishara, or in this case, Ma'aishara, which is 10th. Aishara is 10. Right? Outline, 10th, 10 part, 10th tithe, payment of 10 path. So when you look at 10 in the ancient, and look at the word 10. All right, so let's see if we can find to show you here in the blue letter. So we go to Genesis. Right, so I have it here. So this is Genesis 24:10. So we get the light right. They have it as, we know the vowel, those consonants that they have, those vowels, E, that doesn't belong in ancient Hebrew. But that's how they write it. Right, so we have it as I, Shara. We know that I, Shara, not Essa. They feminize the whole word in itself. But that Syrian language is a effeminate language. So we have here, I want to open it up. It's H6234. Right, so we know it's Aishara. They say part, masculine, feminine noun. It's root. Outline is 10 with other numbers. So we go Strong's. So which shows up the to get another look here at the Strong's definition. They say Asara. They're trying to see if they get it correct. It's Aishara. So 10 or the 10th is Aishara is 10th. Aishara is 10. As we're moving forward, you will see where we have the powers of 10 in terms of that being added on with the other numbers. So I hope you all have this done. I have this done. We're going to move up the chain. You're good, right? You have this done?
Oh, good.
So as we're going up the chain, yeah, just run through from 1 to 10. Now we're going up. We have 11, 12, 13, 14. So we'll do like this because of space. So now we know what is 10. Hebrew is not like, still pronounced not as much, not as how we do some of the pronunciation today. We would say 11, 12, 13. 11 is what? If it was like separating the two.
That would be 10 and 1.
That would clean. Or in our case, it's 1 and 10. So we know 10 is I.S.U.P.K. Right? That's 10. And because of how we speak, I don't know if you can remember from the beginning, what was 1 in the beginning? Like I draw back some others usually. 1 is
Akkad.
That's right, so Akkad. So if we know that 10 is I.S.U.P.K. and Akkad is 1, how we say 11 in Hebrew is 1 plus 10. So in this case, it's pronounced as Akkad. I.S.U.P.K. You understand? And that would be like the backdrop or the blueprint going for all the numbers. So we have Akkad, I.S.U.P.K. So if that is 11, what is 12?
Akkad. Yes, no.
So now we're moving the power in 10.
Akkad Shanya.
Remember, Akkad is 1. Now to write 11 is 10.
My bad. My bad.
I will love me now. Only, but that's the power there. So I.S.U.P.K.
So it could be I.S.U.P.K. Shani.
Remember, this is 10.
Yeah.
So, easy way to remember it. I will like this. This is 10
Shanya
plus 1. Or in this case, it's 1 plus 10. When it's being written in the Hebrew, it's obviously the other way. So if 1 plus 10 is 11, Akkad I.S.U.P.K. 12 will be
Shanya I.S.U.P.K.
That's it. Out of luck. So 12 is Shanya I.S.U.P.K. Now with that in mind, how much should you next to? Let's see it. Right? What are we next to? 13. So we got 13.
Yeah.
Where is one more? Oh, okay. So we have a card I.S.U.P.K, which is 11. Shanya. Go ahead. Use anyone. Is it blue? So you're going to write 13. Going through, you would realize there's a pattern as you roll through every different section. As you go into the tens, you go into the hundreds, you go into the thousands. Right? So you have Qadash, yeah. There's a horse walking out. Yeah. So like this, you can see, I have it lovely. So you have any cover?
Yes.
So what we have here now, Shalash, I.S.U.P.K, which is really 10 and 3, with 13, and Arabai, Shara I.S.U.P.K, is 14. We're going to, let me say, the 13th. Let's see the color best I can do that. So we see how it's being applied in the scriptures. So, right, so let's see the color. So we're going to Esther. So we're going to Jeremiah 1 and 2, right? So Jeremiah 1 and 2 says, to whom the word of the Lord, this is Jeremiah, when he is in his vision, to whom the word of the Lord came in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah, in the 13th year of his reign. So you can see here. So we have this Shalash I.S.U.P.K. Now again in the bastardized language, I'm going to show you again how right, they have it as Shalosh, right? But it's really pronounced Shalash. Right, that's it there. It's pronounced Shalash. Shalash I.S.U.P.K. Right? So in the 13th is have Asa. Or it's supposed to be I.S.U.P.K. So Shalash I.S.U.P.K. is 13 or 13th. And year is Shana. Right? So in the 13th year of his reign, and Malach is king. So if you go into the Strong's, they have it pronounced as, what they say is Shaloshi, which is real feminine, right? Right, a primitive number, right? A third or tirad, but really 13th. And you have the other aspect, which is the, as we bring back the two parts, is Shalash I.S.U.P.K. Right, straight again in blue letter. They have it as, they try to say the pronoun as Asa. Right, but we know is I.S.U.P.K. And they say 10 or 10th in combination with other numbers. So we're seeing for 13 is Shalash I.S.U.P.K., which is 13. Used only in combination to make from numbers 11 to 19. So that gives some examples of it being used in the scripture. So we're going to continue to go up to 20. What I'm going to do though is quickly write in the ancient and the Assyrian. So I'm going to do the first two for a pattern. So we know 11 in Akkad I.S.U.P.K. So write it in the ancient car, a card, I.S.U.P.K. A card, I.S.U.P.K. That's ancient graphic Syrian. I.S.U.P.K. Right, so that card, I.S.U.P.K, ancient Assyrian. No is a pattern. Shanya, so we have 13 and 14. It's a shot. The video on again, if you could. So if you realize there are patterns, so we see realize what remains the same. I.S.U.P.K, which is 10. Akkad, I.S.U.P.K, 11. Shanya, I.S.U.P.K, is 12. So we go to 13 now. You write in 13. So follow the same blueprint. So last one. What I did not do was change the numbers inside. Right? So, right. 11, right? So that's what I mean. So 13, if you're writing it, realize the pattern. Or if you're not seeing it clearly, you can use this effort. So 13 is Shalash, this is the ancient, this is the Assyrian. 14, ancient, like the Assyrian. You can use this effort if you want as well. Right, so you can recognize the numbers. Right, so you see something remain the same. which is the I.S.U.P.K. You listen to the changing is in the mind front, just like what we did before. It is 1 and 10, 2 and 10, 3 and 10. That's just it. You got you? Again, the Lashawan Qadash, this is something that we have to keep on practicing. Right? Many of the I.S.U.P.K. scholars in the I.S.U.P.K. under commanding GEN.YAHANNA, all the generals, captains, right down to officers and troopers, everybody has to do their part. I'm saying to all the men above me for teaching, and passing down this knowledge so that we are able now to get this understanding and to be able to pass on now to other brothers and other sisters to get back our heritage and our culture. Because this is something that, growing up in the Christian church, I knew nothing about. Didn't have a clue. And I would have never had a clue probably if I didn't come out of the Christian church. And even if, you had some sense of, wondering, is this Hebrew? Then we would have been learning the so-called Jewish type Hebrew and not getting the clear or the right understanding how to apply it or even looking and understanding it in the scriptures. So Barakatah Yahweh, why I was shy for this truth to teach the men, to raise men, for us to come out of this garbage philosophy of the Western world. Yeah, the space. You got the eraser behind. Yeah, looking good there, man. You see, almost there.
This part there.
So where the compete is the Assyrian, right? Yeah, it's a while. We broke it up. So we have now, let's point cap on this one. So Officer Shah just put in the the ancient, which is really right. I would say Akkad. You have what Shalash, right? So basically Shalash I.S.U.P.K. How we wrote it is on the opposite of the Roman family.
Oh,
from right to left. Understand?
You can.
So this supposed to be this on the other side. So put like this. Is Qadash. Then you put in the I.S.U.P.K. Understand? So Shalash I.S.U.P.K. That is the ancient. Again, the Assyrian is the same thing, but that's about understanding the opposite or the translation of it. So, Shah, as we know, this last. Right, so Lash I.S.U.P.K. The same thing there. Just like other side. So always remember Hebrew is from the right to the left. So when we say that like Arabai I.S.U.P.K, it will be Arabai I.S.U.P.K.
Can.
Different I.S.U.P.K. So you have R, right, Ra, Ba. That's with Arabai I.S.U.P.K. R, Ra, Ba. Let me write it now in the Syrian. So I'm saying I.S.U.P.K. That's it. We have the ancient and the Assyrian. Right? We have Akkad I.S.U.P.K. 11. Shanyah I.S.U.P.K. 13, Shalash I.S.U.P.K. So we have Shanyah I.S.U.P.K. 12, Shalash I.S.U.P.K. 13, Arabai I.S.U.P.K. 14. In this case, how we say is really in the Hebrew is 1, 10, 2, and 10, 3, and 10. 4 and 10. Alright, so what we're going to do now, we're going to cut it from now. We're going to continue this. We're going to finish the teens, go into the powers at 10 more again, which is 20, and then go up again, which is 100, into the thousands, and we're going to see how it's going to be applied in the scripture. And with that, I pass the class to Priest and Officer Barrier.
Security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yahanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or a sister comes in the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3, 8 to 10. Means tenth in Hebrew and is pronounced my Aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations is the
Memorial blowing on trumpets.
Memorial blowing trumpets.
Nice, we have it here. Here's number 5.
First day of the 7th month, Tuesday, September 17th, 2020. You can find this in Leviticus 23, 24 to 25. Remind Akim and Aquatium to check on social media such as ISUPK.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K. events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, light shirts, light pants, light headbands, or scarf. And with that, you see, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah. Let's give the teacher one courtesy salute. I imagine Shabbat. I imagine Rak. Yahweh Sham Yoshai Brakatha.
Yahweh Sham Shabbat.
And with that, class dismissed.